Good morning. Today I was going to talk to you about my Angora rabbits. I talk so much about my sheep that I do not give the rabbits the attention that they deserve, especially to be a low maintenance fiber animal. So I'm going to introduce you to my setup and to my animals. So I have three. I believe they are English Angora rabbits. I'm not an expert on Angora rabbits. I actually got into these a little over a year ago, a little bit reluctantly, just because I know nothing about them and didn't really have an interest when I got into them, but I sure have grown to really love them. So I've got two does and a buck. The buck is actually in there. He's underneath. We'll look at him in just a minute. But this is my setup. This is called my rabbit tractor. You see a lot of chicken tractors out there. This is a rabbit tractor that my dad built. He's an excellent woodworker, and you can see both ends have handles. This end over here as well, and that is for moving it around. I try to move it daily. When I first got it, I was only moving it around every 2 to 3 days, but it really works better if you move it daily. This is just how I secure the lid. My little lock, I guess you could say, opens easily so that I can get inside. I can even get in here if I need to, because sometimes they do get under here. I'm going to show you that buck now. Where are you? Oh, there he is. There he is. That's Mario. You're Mario, Peaches, and Rosalina. I have the little upstairs, downstairs area. This top part you can see is going to have to be replaced. This probably wasn't the best choice. Even though it stays pretty dry, it is exposed to the weather, so it gets a little damp and moist, and it's breaking down. But this will be an easy fix. I keep the food up there. I keep 2 or 3 water bottles going. In the summertime, they do drink a lot of water in the summer when it's hot, so you got to make sure that you don't run out of water. I feed them a grain pellet that they do really well on, and then also you can give them banana peels. They love potato peels, carrots, lots of different fruits and vegetables. I try to think about, I'm not a nutritional expert for Angora rabbits by any means, but I do try to think about, they probably don't need too much sugar or carbs. Try not to give them anything that would give them gas, because I don't want them to have an upset stomach. But other than that, they really don't seem to eat that much. They do like Lespedeza hay. I know that Lespedeza hay is really good for the sheep, and so I've stuck it in there with them a few times, especially when they're not in the rabbit tractor. They have cages underneath my shop that are up off the ground, and so I do that. I put them in there when the weather's going to be bad, so you do kind of have to keep an eye on the weather. I don't like to leave them in the tractor when the weather's going to be bad. So let's talk about the fiber. They have an amazing soft, it is called wool, it's called Angora wool. It's so soft. They do have some guard hairs. I'm going to show you some close-ups in some clips here in just a little while. They do have some guard hairs in that wool, but it's so extremely soft. They have a micron count of about 12. I mean, it can vary a little bit, but you can imagine how soft that is with a micron count of 12. These bunnies, I'm not sure if I mentioned, I think they are English Angoras. There are different kinds. I'm not a show rabbit person, so I don't know a whole lot about what kind they are, but I believe these are the English variety. They're not giants, I do know that, and they do have the hair on their face. But anyway, they have been so easy to maintain, and so if you love fiber and you like to spin or weave or do anything with the fiber arts, I would highly recommend, because they're just easy to take care of. You don't have to have a lot of acreage like you do if you have sheep. You know, if you've got sheep, you've got to have pasture, and you've got to have the ability to rotate the sheep in that pasture. And so, but if you don't have that acreage and you still want your own fiber animal, consider the Angora rabbits, because they're amazing.